Welcome to Public Health Matters, the show that addresses public health issues that matter the most to the citizens of Harford County. Real issues, real people, and the information you need to know.
Hello, I'm Rania Nassar, Public Information Officer for the Harford County Health Department, and your host for today's Public Health Matters, the show that takes a closer look at the public health issues that matter the most to the citizens of Harford County. Today's topic for Public Health Matters is healthy aging. We will be discussing healthy aging in Harford County and the role of the Office on Aging. Joining us today is Karen Winkowski, Administrator at the Office on Aging, and Andrea Pamela, Wellness and Health Benefits Manager of the Department of Housing and Community Services at the Office on Aging. Welcome to our show, and thank you both so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's get started by taking a moment to introduce yourselves, and what is your connection to healthy aging? Karen?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm Karen Winkowski. I've been the Administrator for Harford County Office on Aging for 18 years. And prior to that, I worked in a local health department working in public health. So I have a very long history of commitment to community health concerns.
Great. Andrea?
And I'm Andrea Pamela. I am the Wellness and Health Benefits Coordinator for the Harford County Office on Aging. My team is relatively new, though I have been with the Office on Aging in some capacity for the last 16 or 17 years. I too also started at the Harford County Health Department with my career, so public health is very near to my heart.
That's great. Thank you both so much. So for our first question, I really want to discuss what a typical older adult looks like in Harford County.
Well, at first I would say we really don't have a typical definition of older adults in Harford County. We have a lot of diversity in our senior population. And, but in the county, about 24% of the population is over the age of 60. Mm-hmm. About 14% is between the age of 60 and 70. Mm-hmm. We're slightly more female population than male, which is consistent with the rest of the county. And one of our primary focuses is the fact that in general, older adults are dealing with at least one chronic health concern, and so that's a major focus of what we were really working on in the Office on Aging to try and address health concerns.
So our population is really heavy on, the older adults here, so it's great we're having this conversation.
Yes.
What are the most prevalent chronic health concerns for older adults in Harford County?
Well, I believe that we're going to show a graphic, and that graphic is reflective of general health concerns in the community of Harford County. But one of the things that we know is that as we age, we see a severity increase in any existing chronic health concerns. But then we also see the onset of some things like dementia and arthritis, and perhaps some worsening of other chronic health conditions, or maybe some new chronic health concerns that are identified.
And how do you support the needs of the varying types of older adults in Harford County?
Well, our office is pretty complex. We range from services in the community at our senior centers, where we really focus on health promotion, and by far our most popular offering in our senior centers is our fitness programming, which is a wonderful thing. And but then also, when we start to see a change in somebody's needs in the senior center, we can connect them with our main office functions and supports. And we're really more in the main office about case management and connecting people with resources to enrich their lives and meet their needs where they are, and to provide gap-filling services to prevent the need for somebody to maybe go to an assisted living facility or a nursing home. And then I guess really kind of the last step in the journey that we may have with an older adult in Harford County is our guardianship program. So we really are focused on providing supports to the needs of older adults in the community across the spectrum.
I will say I love our senior centers that we offer here in Harford County. It's such a great resource for the older adults. I mean, the physical activity options are amazing. They're fun. You have a great group of people that teach the class and a great group of people that take these classes, and it's so great to be together, to support one another and promote that physical activity. And sometimes it's easier to have, a friend with you a lot of the time. So, having them get together in these group settings and promoting that health and wellness that way is absolutely amazing. So what role do you believe that the senior centers play in supporting the health of older adults?
Well, our senior centers offer a lot of different things that I think really support seniors regardless of where they're at. So we have just basic social activities, card groups, we have a lunch that we serve in some of the sites every day, and some of the sites maybe only a couple of days a week. But great opportunities for people to come together, find a friend, come with a friend, you know, promote that sort of sense of community. In addition to the fitness classes, which we have everything from seated offerings all the way up to something that's a little bit more physically active. We also have pickleball, very popular in Harford County. Yeah, huge following, I think, everywhere, but particularly here, we have a large group of seniors that participate in that. And then we also have our health and wellness events that we offer throughout the month. Could focus on the theme of the month, could be something that our seniors have brought to us that they're interested in. And then also things like discussion groups, arts and crafts, painting. So you name it, it's there. I think there's something for everyone. We even have fitness centers in many of our activity centers that they can join. And if they're just interested in coming and maybe going on the treadmill or riding a bike, they have the opportunity to do that as well.
That's a lot of variety. That's
It is.
awesome that they have huge, you know, options to choose from. So that's great. So we talked about more of that physical aspect, but what type of health promotion programs are offered at the senior centers, and which ones seem to be the most popular?
So by far the most popular health promotion programs that we offer are our evidence-based fitness classes.
Okay.
The state really pushes these evidence-based classes for good reason. You know, they've been proven to be effective for people to help them sort of move that needle on being healthy and making changes. But we found that here in Harford County, people were less interested in the programs where they were sort of lectured to and more interested in the programs where they could be physically active. So we do offer several things in the centers that are evidence-based but have a fitness component to them. And they are very popular. In fact, they were so popular we had to offer more of them than what we started with, which is great. But in addition to that, we also have Alzheimer's programs that we offered this month in our senior centers. The Alzheimer's Association came in and they spoke about, you know, what's normal, what's not normal. It was very well received by our population. I think there's always that question of, you know, if I lay my keys down and I don't remember where they are, is that something I should be concerned about, or is that just normal aging?
Normal person.
Exactly. But we've also offered calming jars, things that have to do with mental health. So you name it, we kind of have it there. We survey our seniors quite often to see what they're interested in, because obviously the things that we offer, we want it to be something that they want to attend and that they're going to get something out of.
That's a huge variety. That's amazing. What a great resource here for Harford County and for these adults. So if an older adult would like to join the senior center, how would they go about doing that?
So our senior centers are free. There is no cost to be a member. They just have to fill out some paperwork. Once they fill the paperwork out at one location, they're technically a member of all the centers.
Okay.
We do update the paperwork about on a yearly basis just to make sure nothing has changed, emergency contact information, that type of thing. But it's simple, easy, probably takes about 10 minutes the first time that they show up, and then they're free to use the facility. They're free to register for classes and attend those health promotion events.
And they can walk into any center and sign up. And you don't even have to be a Harford County resident to join, because most of our federal funding support that supports these programs, we are not so worried about where you live. But our classes, many of our classes do have a tuition. And the classes are offered very much like a college campus in that they're offered for 10 weeks, 4 times a year. And so our course catalog is available online for anybody to look at. We still have a lot of free activities, but a lot of the fitness programming is tuition-based. A lot of our classes are tuition-based.
That's great.
But they're really reasonable.
Yeah. How do you feel the needs of seniors have changed in the past 5 years?
Oh, I think we have seen a drastic change, and I think the major catalyst for that was COVID.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we have some very, very active, engaged seniors who are going everywhere and doing all the things, and that's great. One of the things that we know is reducing isolation is really an important concern post-COVID, and having a sense of purpose is a major factor in how well someone lives their life. But COVID really kind of sent us all home and sent us all into isolation. And I think that at a certain time in your life when you're a little bit older, things that might not impact you when you were younger have a more profound impact when you're older. And I think a lot of seniors had a difficult time re-engaging and bouncing back from that isolation. And we had a lot of seniors who had health concerns that were setbacks. So I think the last 5 years have been really tough for older adults. It's been tough for all of us. And so I think it's really, and we're very focused on pushing forward the idea of getting involved and doing something. We know for a fact that someone who retires and they have an everyday job that they're used to going to, if you don't have a plan, not just financially, but a plan for what you're going to do with your everyday life, it can be a major factor in your longevity, in your wellness, in your state of mind. So we've really focused on doing more in the community to get people engaged. We're out a lot of housing sites doing programming where we weren't before, because what we really are focused on is, if we're going to live a long life, that's great, but we want to live a well life and a happy life.
Yes.
So I think things have changed drastically, but I think we're well prepared and doing a lot of really creative things to meet older folks in the community where they are, and to do what we can to enrich their lives.
That's true. Can you tell me about the Longevity Ready initiative that the state has adopted, and how the Harford County Office on Aging is supporting that initiative?
Well, that ties in really well to the question right before. Maryland has really embarked on a mission to focus on a 100-year lifespan.
Okay.
And within the next 30 years, we're going to see a quadrupling of the number of people who will live to be 100 and older.
Wow.
And as I said, you know, it's great to live to be 100, but we want to live well, and we want to have healthy, active, engaged lives. And so Maryland is really focused on what can we do from a multi-sector approach, not just what can an Office on Aging do, but what can the faith community do, what can government do, what can business do, to enrich that lifestyle and make sure that we're really well prepared for folks living longer lives. I think one of the things that's really interesting, about 100 years ago, the first antibiotic was invented. And that extended American life longevity by about 23 years. And if you think of all the medical advancements that we've had in our nation beyond just the invention of antibiotics, there have been so many things that we've done that are extending life, but we want to have a good quality of life. So that's what the initiative is focused on.
I think that's a great point. Like you said, it's so important to make sure that, you know, we want everybody to live a long life, but if you're living it and you're in pain and you're not happy, you know, that's going to make it so much, it's going to make it really difficult for that individual.
Absolutely.
So, you know, finding those ways to support them and making sure that, you know, we're there to help focus on their health and prevention. I think that's absolutely important. So the work you guys are doing is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So what makes the Bloom Project a unique way to support seniors living independently in the community?
So the Bloom project also was kind of born out of COVID. Back when the vaccinations first came out, we at the Office on Aging teamed up with the health department and Upper Chesapeake Medical System to help administer those vaccines in the senior housing communities so that we could get those seniors back out into the community and, you know, reduce that isolation. And what we noticed when we went into these senior housing communities is that while these are independent living, there was a lot of people living there who probably were sort of getting by on the kindness of neighbors, probably weren't connected the way that they needed to be, maybe just one fall or one hospitalization away from potentially going into an assisted living. And so Karen and I kind of put our heads together and said, you know, what can we do to support these housing sites? And that's kind of where this came from. So we started out in 3 buildings doing a nutrition education. So we went in once a month, we provided them with a healthy meal, and we just talked to them about eating well. It was wildly received. We had 100% completion rate from the people who signed up to be in the program, which, you know, being in public health, that's almost unheard of. But I think the idea that they could come together, they could talk to the people in their building that really, honestly, they may not have seen in a while, and also be supported by us. I taught the class. There was 2 other people from our from the office who also taught the class. They just loved the idea that we were coming in. They loved the excitement of what was the meal going to be. I mean, simple, easy things. And it just kind of grew from there. So last year when my team came, we hired a few people in January. We really kind of went gangbusters. So we're now in 8 buildings.
Wow, that's a lot.
We do 1 exercise class a month in the buildings. We do 1 health promotion class. And they love it. And so it is a way of sort of bringing the senior center to them. because what we realized is they just weren't going to the senior centers. And so while we always encourage them to get there and we tell them what's going on, I think they love the idea that they can come down to their community rooms, they can see their neighbors, they can participate in these things in the comfort of their own home, really. And they can still get that community feeling just exactly where they are. We're kind of taking out some of those barriers. And so that's sort of where that was born from, and it's just been really, really successful.
I love that we continue to bring up that topic of support because, you know, like you mentioned, a lot of these older adults, they might be living individually in their homes, and it might be also really hard for them to try and make new friends. Like this, it's something, again, like it's almost like they have to start over again. So the fact that you guys are building that space to kind of get them to say, hey, you know, this could be your tribe here. These are your neighbors. You know, how can they, you know, work together to kind of continue to support each other and continue to live healthy lives. I think that's you know, an awesome opportunity for them. But I can see how this could be something that is really new to them in their at their age.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, that's great. It's a good two-way you know thing. So how do you all, or how does the Office on Aging utilize community resources and partners to support the programming offered to older adults?
Well, you know, we're not a very big shop.
Yes.
And so really we can't do it all by ourselves. And Andrea talked about Bloom. We talked about health promotion in the senior centers. We do a lot of what we do on the backs and in partnership with our community focused health partners, with local businesses. We have a tremendous partner in the health department.
Yes.
We have a lot of shared mission that we can find common ground and work together on. The hospital system here is a huge partner of ours as well. Many of our health promotion programs that we offer are provided by folks from that team, and they have so much expertise. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to go to the experts and capitalize on what they know and bring that to our senior community. So, and then also senior serving businesses. We have a strong partnership with ShopRite, especially their pharmacy program, and then also soon with ShopRite in general to do some food related programming. We really can't do what we do without the help of our broader community, and our programs are that much richer for the partnerships that we have. And then, of course, when we're dealing with case management kind of concerns, we work very closely with social services, we work closely with our provider community, so it really does take a village, and we're lucky to have so many great community partners that we can rely upon.
Yeah.
I think another thing that the Office on Aging does really well is you guys are really great at bringing partners together and educating partners on what they do, and so that, you know, we're all on the same page, because we all do serve older adults, and eventually we're all going to serve older adults. So I love that, you know, you all take time to, you know, educate your partners on, hey, did you know about this program in the community? Do you know about this program? Hey, let's meet, let's discuss this. So you guys do a wonderful job at that. I think resource sharing is really important. So definitely kudos to you all on that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So how does your office continue to support older adults as their needs increase?
Well, as I mentioned, you know, I really believe in a public health model and approach to community health, and I think when you look at our senior centers, that's really the first entree that we have with folks. We can bring people in, get them engaged in physical activity, get them just engaged, they're less isolated. But sometimes people need a little bit more, and so our main office is available. We get calls, about 160 calls every day from the community, and we triage each call so that we have a real sense of not just what the presenting problem is right now, but what the fires might be in the background. A lot of folks don't reach out to us until there's a crisis, and it's really hard to unwind all that crisis. So we do try to look for any presenting issues that might become fires in the future, and try to really troubleshoot those things, connect people with resources both internally and externally, and empower people. Because we are a small team, we really are focused on empowering people, teaching people how to fish for themselves.
Yes.
We have a whole learning library on our website for professionals and for individuals, because sometimes when the crisis hits, it's 2 a.m. in the morning and we're not there, so people can go use those resources. But we really do try to meet people where they are, troubleshoot the problems that might be coming they're not even aware of.
That's great. What advice or tips do you have for anyone that will help support their optimal health as they age?
I think being connected, I think, coming to the senior centers, finding people that might have similar interests to you. I think going to the doctor is a huge one, making sure that you're keeping on top of your health. Educating yourself if you do have health concerns, making sure that you understand your health insurance is a huge one. My team also deals with all of the Medicare beneficiaries in the county. And so just educating yourself on, what is my health insurance? How do I use it to the best of my ability that I can stay healthy, that I can get to the doctor and take the medication that I need? But really, I think just staying active and finding something to do. Because I think when people cannot come up with something that they are interested in, maybe their hobbies start to fall to the wayside, that's when you start seeing people become more isolated and their health kind of declines, especially their mental health.
So eating healthy, working out, building that tribe, finding those connections, learning how your insurance can benefit you, all amazing things. We also bring up, supporting, optimal health and things like that. We was, again, going back to prevention, smoking cessation, stuff like that, I think is, a consistent or a constant topic that we discuss all the time. And so, we have the tips, and, we just need to continue to empower, like we said, those individuals to kind of, take charge of their health. So
absolutely.
That's great. So I know we've talked a lot about physical health and seniors, but how is your office supporting other facets of health for older adults?
Well, I really do think that what Andrea said is just right on point. One of the things that we know is if you have a plan and you are focused on staying active and staying engaged, that's really going to support not only your mental health and your emotional health, but it also supports healthy brain aging. And that's a really big concern for a lot of our older adults, their memory issues. And we know that if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Yes.
And so I think really across the board, getting involved, whatever your capacity is, finding people to talk to, people to engage with, things that you can do, even if it's just doing puzzles, reading, or if you can get out and get to a senior center and get engaged in those activities, those are all really, really important things. And like you said, you've used the word finding your tribe.
Yeah.
That's such an important thing. That sense of connectivity to other people is really a great insulator for health concerns overall. And it's also really nice if you do have a tribe, if you have a problem or something going on, you have people to talk to, you have people who will support you. And so I think really the things that we talk about in terms of healthy aging really do support healthy aging overall, not just physical health.
Yes, that focus on mental health is always so crucial too as well. And that, that isolation and working on meeting people and just kind of finding that group that you're going to be able to rely on too is so crucial. So
absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Memory Cafe and how it supports older adults and their caregivers?
So we recently received some grant funds, and we had the opportunity to support a really wonderful project here in our community that is an Alzheimer's Association model, and it's supported by a local home health agency as well, who sort of spearheads the local effort. But the Memory Cafe is a once-a-month activity that occurs at a local restaurant. And individuals who are caregivers for those folks who have been identified with dementia and their person they're providing care for get to come out for a really nice lunch. And usually there is some kind of presentation that is focused on something that would be helpful to the lifestyle and the needs of this particular couple in general. We have the opportunity to support this effort once a month, and we've really kind of fallen in love with this group.
Aww.
And the opportunity that we have to support socialization and connection between both people who have a diagnosis and their caregivers. And we're really excited because we're going to do a really nice holiday event for them. But it's a unique opportunity for us to share information, but also for there to be socialization and support. And it really is a wonderful thing for caregivers and folks who are dealing with a diagnosis as well.
The important thing about this program that I think might be a little bit different than what else is going on in the community is that the caregiver can bring the person with them that has dementia, which is not always the case.
Yeah.
And so it gives them the opportunity to talk to other people that are going through the same thing, but it gives that person with dementia the opportunity to talk to other people that are going through the same thing they are. And so it provides sort of a socialization piece on both sides. And for some of these people that are coming to the Memory Cafe, this is their only opportunity every month to really get out of the house. So it's super important to them. They absolutely love coming, and that information that they get is really crucial to them in knowing what kind of resources they can be connected with in the county. So it's been just an awesome project to be a part of.
Is there anything else that you both would like to add before we end our show today?
Just that we really appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're very, very committed to our senior population in Harford County, and we're very fortunate to have an office and a team and focus areas in the community with our senior centers where we can interact with older adults. And I know you're going to put up our information at the end, so if people have questions, please follow up with us, reach out to us. That's what we're there for, and we're happy to have a conversation and figure out how we might be able to support people.
Great. Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank my guests on today's show, Karen and Andrea. And if you'd like more information on healthy aging, please refer to the resources page after the show. And join us next time for another important health issue that matter the most to the citizens of Harford County. Thanks for watching.
You've been watching Public Health Matters, brought to you by HarfordTV. Watch what matters.